Hey yogis, welcome back to Yoga with Leanna. I have been driving for a very long time, so I am very excited to do some core flow. And this is a quick class. It's just meant to really get the core fired up and just kind of let us unwind and feel better about getting some movement in our day. So we're actually going to start standing. So just come to the top of your mat. Spread your toes nice and wide. And then pick the toes off the mat. And then starting from the pinky toes, let's just bring all the toes back down. And we'll do that again. Pick the toes up. And starting from the pinky toes, bring all the toes down. And just rock a little forward and back on your feet. Rock a little side to side on your feet. And come to a place where you feel really grounded in both feet. Lengthen the tailbone down, out of the back. As you draw the tailbone down, reach the crown of the head up. Feel that nice long spine. Let's broaden the collarbones. Turn the palms to face forward. Soften the face. Take a few deeper breaths here. Inhale, fill up the chest. And side out. Good. Again, inhale, stand nice and tall. And exhale. Good. This time, inhale, reach both arms up, look up. And we'll exhale, fold forward. Inhale into your halfway lift. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, step back into your high plank. And here comes the core. So find your high plank. You want your wrists a little bit more forward than your shoulders, so just find a spot there that feels good. And then we'll press evenly into the base of each knuckle, so where the palm and the fingers meet. Those 5 points on both hands, press evenly into them. And then just a little tiny bit, bring a little bit more weight to the pointer finger and the thumb finger side of both hands. It's not like a total dump into that area, but just a little bit more pressure there. And if that doesn't work for you, then, or if that creates any pain, then just go back to the even pressure. It's starting to get hard, huh? So here we go. So same kind of deal as Tadasana. The tailbone draws back towards the heels. And against that drawback of the tailbone, the crown of the head reaches forward. The chin slightly tucks up. And all that does, it gets the back of the neck long. So the upper spine is long, lower spine is long. And from there, the whole spine is lengthening. The quads are active. And just a little bit with your hands, act like you want to pull the mat towards your feet. With your feet, act like you want to pull the mat towards your hands. Take an inhale. And then exhale, come on down into your forearms and interlace your fingers. Good. So same deal here. The shoulders can be slightly behind the elbows. And with those elbows, act like you want to drag the mat to the feet. With the feet, act like you want to drag the mat to the elbows. Try to even press into the wrists. Keep the collarbones broad. Find that nice long spine, neck, low back. Quads are firm. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your hips. Whew. And then let's bring our palms onto the mat and come on into your Sphinx pose. And this should feel pretty good after that core work. So press into the tops of the feet, press the pubic bone down, and with your elbows in your hands, pull back to send the heart forward. Stretching out the belly, getting that broadness to the collarbones. Let's take one more inhale into the collarbones. Inhale. And then exhale, come on down. Good. Interlace your hands together behind your back. And then let's draw the knuckles back towards the heels. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale just your chest up. Good, so here the tops of the feet are still pushing down. I think this is actually harder to do than lifting the feet. I'm trying to even press the pinky toe sides of the feet down. And squeeze those shoulder blades together. Draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades down the back. So knuckles are reaching to the heels. Collarbones are broad, back of the neck is long. And then just lift your feet the tiniest bit. Straighten out those arms, firm the legs. Then can you lift the low ribs off the mat? Lift them up. Inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. Nice, release the hands. Now bring your hands under your shoulders. Curl the toes under. Reverse push up. Inhale, press up. And yes, we're gonna stay in high plank for a little longer again. This time we're actually gonna come into side plank. So let's start with the right hand down, move it in front of the face. Go onto the outer edge of that right foot. Left arm peels up. Woo. Good, so just kind of take a peek at your feet. You want the feet stacked one on top of the other. The legs are just like squeezing together. And then almost always for me, my top hip has to come forward so that the top hip and the bottom hip are stacked. So you're kind of creating like a mountain pose in your body. So the spine is long, tailbone draws back, crown of the head reaches forward. Feeling that in the right obliques. And then try to firm the right shoulder blade in so that the left side ribs are stacked right on top of the right side ribs. We're pressing actively through that right hand. We're reaching up through the left hand. One more full breath in. And exhale, return into your high plank. Just take a moment here to reset. Inhale. Exhale, second side. Oh boy, why did I decide to do a core class? Here it is. So the feet are stacked one on top of the other. And like I can see here, like my top hip is way back. So I'm gonna try to rotate it on top of the bottom hip. And then really actively press evenly through that bottom palm. And you can play with a little bit more press in the thumb and the pointer finger like we did earlier, unless that doesn't feel good for you. That left shoulder blade, firm it in. So we're trying to get the right side ribs right on top of the left side ribs. Reach up through that right hand. The tailbone's lengthening out of the low back. One more inhale. Exhale, right back into your high plank. Pause for a moment in your high plank. Let's come on into downward facing dog. Find your strong down dog. The balls of the feet push down and pull out. Tailbone's lifting. Quads are firm. Toes are spread. Drive those hands into the mat and try to push the mat forward. Spread across the shoulder blades. Spread across the chest. Let's take a full breath in here. Good. Inhale into your high plank. Exhale, forearm plank. Okay, we're doing it again. So let's bring the right palm down. And I like to be diagonal, so my forearm's at a bit of a diagonal compared to the sides of the mat. And then come onto the outer edge of that right foot. Left arm up. And just make sure you want your shoulder either directly above the elbow or slightly behind the elbow. Find that Tadasana in the torso. So the legs are squeezing together. Both sides of the waist are the same length. Left hip on top of the right hip. We're both spreading the shoulder blades and spreading the collarbones. So that bottom forearm is pressing down. Left fingers reach up. And just slightly, we firm that right shoulder blade in. And you'll feel that, like the shoulder really fires up. Both sides of the neck are long. Maybe look up at that top thumb for one more inhale. Exhale back into the forearm plank. And then second side. Left forearm comes down. Oh boy, that wasn't so graceful. Right one goes up. And let's just check in here. Is the shoulder right over the elbow or slightly behind it? Firm the legs. Right hip point goes on top of the left. Both sides of the waist are long. Normally for me, that means lifting the bottom hip or the left hip a little higher. Press down to that left forearm. Reach up to the right fingers. Left shoulder firms in. Maybe look up at the top hand. Take an inhale. Exhale back into your forearm plank. Okay. From the forearm plank, we're going to come back into high plank. So let's go right hand first, then left hand. Pause there. We got to do the other side. So come back down. Now this time left hand first. Come on up. Whew. Take an inhale in your high plank. Lengthen through the center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Inhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. And we're going to be in boat pose. Let's actually start with the hands behind the knees. Shins parallel to the mat, legs are active. And then sternum up, shoulder blades squeeze together. Make sure the neck isn't like super tense. Find a relaxed jaw and brow. Okay, adding on, let your palms face up. Get up high onto those sitting bones. Maybe straighten the legs. Activate the arms like you're holding some heavy things in the hands. Heart up, shoulder blades together. Legs are active. Okay, let's find our little reset. And we're coming to side crow prep. Really some nice core work here. So we're going to twist to the left. Try to get that left knee nice and high on that right arm. And then twist from that core, from the ribs. Keep the sternum lifted. And if you can, shins stay parallel to the mat. Last full cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center. Find that little reset. And then second side, twist. Okay. Get that right leg nice and high up on the arm. I usually help it a little bit. Then we lift the heart. Shins are parallel. Last full cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Pause and hold. Shoulder blades squeeze, collarbones broad. Press forward to the balls of the feet. Take a full breath in. Exhale, feet down, hands down. Let's take a little reverse tabletop. Come on up. Just a few breaths right here. Stretch the front of the body, stretch the hip flexors. Press into the feet, press into the hands. Press the shoulder blades up into the heart. Inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. And we're going to lie down onto our backs, but we're not quite done yet with the core. So this one is, I don't know why I always have a really hard time coordinating this one. Maybe you'll have better luck than me. But we bring the knees right over the hips. Both arms reach straight up. And then basically, the right leg is going to come forward. Left arm goes back, but right arm stays up. And you'll see it kind of gets weird. So then you bring the knee and the arm back up. Left leg forward, right arm back. So we're just doing alternate leg, alternate arm. Try to keep that natural inward curve of the low back. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like you basically should be able to fit a couple fingers underneath, maybe not quite all the way. But basically the low back, oh no, I messed it up. I knew I was going to do. The low back is not pressing down against the mat, but it's also not like lifting up super high. It's just that it's natural inward curve. So we're going to keep going with these. They don't seem too bad at first, and then they get kind of hard, I think. Just a few more. Keep the breath going. Good. Last one on both sides. And then we're just going to pause for a moment with the knees over the hips, the arms straight up. And let's bring both legs straight up and let your hands rest. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Keep that natural inward curve of your low back. If it's too hard, you can always bring your hands underneath your butt, and that kind of helps. Let's lower the legs about a third of the way. Lower the legs another third. And lower just as much as you can lower, keeping that curve of the back. Activate the legs. If the low back has to lift up really high, then just bring the legs higher until you can control it. And then inhale both legs back up. We're just going to do 2 more of those. I know they're awful. Lower about a third. Lower a third. And 1 more third. Slowly both legs back up. And last time. Lower. 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 Slow and steady. Both legs back up. Whew. And then place your feet down onto the mat. Let's take a real mellow bridge pose. So we lift the hips. That should feel pretty good. If you feel inclined to go deeper, interlace your hands. Shimmy the shoulders underneath. Those heels press down. The inner thighs push up. Tailbone draws out of the low back. We press into the shoulders, press into the upper arms, lift the heart. Soften the face. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. And just rock a little side to side. Good. Nice and slow, start to rock forward and back on your spine. And we're going to eventually come back into our high plank, but don't worry, we're not holding it super long. So coming into your high plank, we're going to do 1 chaturanga, right? It is a flow class. So take an inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, little hold at the bottom. Flip the toes, straighten the arms. Inhale, upward facing dog, shoulders back and down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let the head and neck be heavy. Good, and let's just bend the right knee really deeply. And move your hips way to the right. Keep lifting the tailbone up. And then just breathe into that left side body. Good, switch sides, both heels up, bend the left knee. Move the hips to the left, and yeah, my right heel will probably come down. Yours can too. We're just looking for that side body stretch on the right side. Press into that right hand, lift the tailbone. And both heels back up. Take an inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, slowly press the heels back. Drop the head. Good, walk your hands back to meet your feet. Take a little bit of a bend in the knees. And then bring your left hand in front of your face. I usually come up on my fingertips. Bend your left knee, peel the right arm up. So those shoulder blades draw down the back. Push into that left foot and try to find length through the spine. Maybe look up at that top hand if it feels good. Especially that left shoulder blade. Get it out of the ear. And last full cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Good. Right hand comes down. Bend the right knee. Peel the left arm up. So you'll see my right shoulder starts to creep up into the ear. Right shoulder blade draws down the back. Same with the left one, but especially that right one. And we reach those left fingertips up. We push into the right foot, the right fingers. Lengthen that spine. Maybe look up at the top hand. Last full cycle. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. Good. Then bring that left hand down. Bend the knees a little bit. A couple options here. You can either grab the elbows like we normally do. You can grab a hold of behind the head. Or you can grab the big toes if you prefer. Just take a few breaths in your fold, moving in any way that feels organic and good. Good. Bring your hands down. And then we're going to slowly peel all the way up to standing. So starting from the low back, we start to just roll. Head and neck hang heavy. We come all the way up to the top. And we'll pause here in Tadasana. Adjust if you need to. It's the same way that we started. We lengthen the tailbone down, the crown of the head up. Spread the toes. The legs are firm. Palms face forward. And soften the face, the jaw. Let's take 3 more smooth, deep breaths. Explore where you can send that breath. Make those exhales nice and long. Bring your palms together. Bow your chin to your chest. And just take a moment. Notice how you feel. Thanks, everybody. Namaste. All right, that was fun, a little different. Hope you guys liked it. And if you liked this class and you want more like it, please let me know. I love hearing from you guys. Just leave me a comment. And yeah, hope to talk to you soon. Namaste.